Look.
Turn the radio on.
Rhythm 93.7. We are the rhythm of the city.
One expert, easy betting, easy winning. One expert at the sharing service to make deposits easily with high odds and Yakata bonus on the spot. Click oneexpert.ng now to register. Use best odds NG as promo code to get 300% bonus up to 189,280 naira on top your first deposit. It is easy to use and it is easy to win. One expert, the reliable bookmaker.
Here we go.
This would be an opportunity. I'm talking rich and famous for life.
There's plenty of videos of flying it online.
You know why you gonna get what we gonna get?
We gonna get it.
The money shot.
What's up?
Undeniable proofs of aliens on camera. The Oprah shot.
They took them. They took them all.
I gotta get out this house. I'm trying to save you. My brother is out there.
Lope, starring Daniel Kaluuya, Kiki Palmer, Stephen Yeun, now showing in cinemas nationwide. Proudly distributed by Silverbird Film Distribution.
It's another Mega Grace International Convention and Express Mega Levels Mega Marital Bliss. The theme is Total Recovery. To activate this total recovery, Papa Ayo Oriste Jafo, Dr. F.I. Omoyele, Bishop Francis Walioke, Bishop Emma Song, Reverend Ntia Aintia, Apostle Paul Amakabi, Reverend Andy Ayunde, your host, Reverend Ben, and Pastor Mrs. Rabbi.
Never brought victory to Syria, and the Bible says he was a 5-star general, but he was a leper. People want to help you, they say box. People say you are intelligent, they say box. And a box that cancels good thing in your life, we erase it.
Guest artists are
people and their opiums for live.
Join us at Divine Appointment Ministry International, Prayer City of Testimonies, Vera Estate by Enyo Police Station, Lagos Business Crew, and Charlie Lagos. This is Monday 3rd to Sunday
Not
night.
just the tenacity and the longevity to, remain a thorn in the flesh of what has been accepted as a popular norm, but you do it regardless of what is tossed at you. They say it's only a tree that bears fruit, they throw stones at. You have received quite a number of melee shots, but I like what it is that you're doing. Not just because of I like you, but I like the fact that there are people who still want to stand up for what is right, and that goes without saying. So this morning, I only have a few questions to toss at you. Obviously we can't talk elections yet because we are not in that space. But the things that we can talk about, yes, indeed. Hopefully when we flag up, that's on the 25th now. When we flag up for next year, 28th, the bigger part, we can have you back in the studio and have to really go hard and hammer on all these other issues. Abigail, so you're recording, Abby?
Where it is not pick up the scratch card and win an instant prize. Category 2 for the star prize. Pick up the scratch card inside the bags to spell DANGOTE. Qualifying you to win 1 million naira cash. Category 3, the mega star prize. Pick out the scratch card inside the bags and spell DANGOTE. Qualifying you to win 5 million naira cash. When you pick an alphabet with an eagle, look out for letter O that has the Dangote Eagle logo for you to win the mega star prize. Terms and conditions apply.
Lagos is now tuned into Africa's much more music station, Rhythm 93.7, where hit music lives.
Welcome back to the Morning Drive Show. On this radio station, we are 93.7. It is Rhythm FM. It is 14 minutes past the hour of 9 o'clock. We promise you guys that we had a special guest in our studio, and whatever we promise, we hope and pray that we are able to deliver. I've got a very special personality in the house. It's not every single day you get a presidential aspirant to stop on by to our studios, but hey, look, we've got one who has made his mark, and we have another, ladies and gentlemen, whose mark has been made on him. I have in the studio with me Omoyele Sowore, who is the presidential candidate under the African Action Congress. Good morning, Chief. Welcome to the program.
Thank you for bringing me on the show, man.
Anytime, every time, sir. First and foremost, let's just get down to business. I know you're a very busy individual. You have quite a number of stops to make today. So we'll start off with the list of issues that we have, but not in any particular order. One of the first things I had in mind to talk to you about, being a candidate as well, is the state with INEC.
Yes.
INEC recently have had a series of competency issues, excess votes, votes not being able to be counted, etc., and so on and so forth. Could you please paint me a picture of how this rubs off ugly on INEC and how this could, dampen their competency issues come 2023 general elections?
Our political party and movement has been the first to question the integrity of INEC. In fact, we organized a series of protests across the country, which we call Occupy INEC. And now people have come to that bus stop where they realized that we were right and they should have joined us. Number one problem INEC has is competence. Just like every incompetent leadership in the country, they haven't been able to run, this current INEC, been able to run a free and fair election. And the reason is simple. They are under the influence of political control. As we speak, there are more INEC federal commissioners that are card-carrying member of the ruling party than you've ever had in the history of the country, and they are not even hiding it. That's a major credibility issue. You look at the off-season elections we've had in Kogi, in Oshun, there's always a problem. The courts are exposing that are overvoting, and materials don't get to arrive on time. So when are we going to resolve that problem before we go into another major election in 2023? That's where I agree with those who said they should occupy INEC. I think INEC needs an overhaul, but you can't even overhaul INEC when it's still the president of the country that appoints the chairman of INEC. We should get rid of that power, because normally and typically people who appoint Nigerian officials into office are the ones who control their behavior and loyalty. So we should resolve that first and foremost. But we are at a point where the constitution may not be able to be changed, but we can put enormous pressure on current INEC to ensure that they do right by the Nigerian people by organizing free and fair elections. It's easier to organize elections now because technology helps a lot in getting rid of so many of the problems that used to happen with manual elections that we used to have. But you see here INEC saying, we're having problems with transmission of results, so we're still going to have to do it manually. Nobody should accept any manual transmission of results. But I think ultimately, what will resolve the problem is electronic voting. And it includes the right of Nigerians to vote anywhere. You don't have to travel 300 miles to go and vote. If you can take your money from your bank account from anywhere in the country and spend it, why can't we vote from anywhere in the country and get the votes counted so that by 12 noon on election day we know the results of these elections? And those who may not be savvy enough to use technology to vote, we can have special centers for them. It's just like, JAMB, the admission body. They have been able to cover the entire country, and you can write your exams anywhere and get your results on time.
Sorry to cut you short, but just a couple of weeks ago, INEC also did hit some allegations that their servers were compromised with hacks from external forces. Do you believe that INEC is in that frame of mind where they can conduct these elections without even having external influences, trying to compromise the process?
The problem is competence. I run a website. I've been running a website since 2006, right? But there's a way you protect the infrastructure of INEC's websites that it can't easily be hacked. I'm not saying that it can be hacked. Any website can be hacked in the world. Even the FBI get hacked. But there's a way you can put in place infrastructure that will prevent people from hacking while you're actively using the website or any of the servers that you're using. And this depends on how the server is configured and where it is kept and which engineers are working on it. If you go and buy a $5 website domain name and you just pick somebody because they're your relative and you spend a huge amount of money on them and you don't have the competence to secure your server, it will be hacked by anybody.
Anyone.
Yes. The national identity card page was hacked.
Indeed.
It was reported and they ignored it. And now people are having problems with getting to register with, for NIN.
I want to talk about more controversial issues. The issue of the same religious ticket, Muslim ticket, Christian ticket. It's been a source of contention ever since one of the political parties did mention that they are going to be having a same ticket. What are your thoughts on the same ticket? Should religion be an issue when it comes to any function of office at all?
You know, I hate that we are discussing religion as part of our political life.
Too.
You know,
It is what it is.
Reason being that, in all honesty, the people you are referring to as Christians and Muslims in this political office is not even believe in God. There's nothing godly about them. So why waste your time choosing, your political choice is made on whether somebody is a Muslim or... I'm one of the people who don't want to discuss it because I hate the fact that religion is still part of the opium running the mental decisions of our people. The people who brought us religion have moved on. They don't even go to church, and most of them don't. You go to Saudi Arabia today, they're bringing in boxers, they're changing their entire social space.
Hosting the World Cup.
Yeah, they're hosting the World Cup.
All liberal
and you're here
activities.
still killing people over, what they wear, or which hairstyle they wear. It's just, it makes me like nauseous that we're having political conversations that hinge on religious identities. When are we going to vote for Babalawo? Can't we have a Babalawo ticket too? You understand? And vote for people because they are competent, not because they are from any religious background. So I don't like that conversation because I think part of our major problem in this country is religion. And it's designed in such a way to manipulate people. I had to intervene on behalf of one guy that was picked up in the market in Abuja and roughened up because he said he's a fake bishop who attended the APC vice presidential unveiling. And I said to the guys when we were arguing about it on Twitter, I was like, do you know who a fake bishop is? Some of them have the biggest churches. Those people who stage fake miracles, they are the real fake bishops. Not these ones who are the apprentices. If bishops want to stay away from politics, then there will be people who disguise as bishops to go to. But the big bishops are doing the same thing. They are endorsing candidates. They're getting paid. They put, they collect money, stolen by politicians. And those ones who are doing that are not different from the ones who went into the market and bought a few cash shops to pay on their head, and they headed to, APC convention. We saw the role bishops played in 2015. The church was brought into politics, and this should not have been the case. And it's part of the reason why people like me say, look, when I become president of Nigeria, I don't want to pay anybody to go to Israel or Saudi Arabia for pilgrimage. You want to go for pilgrimage, you pay for it. If you don't have money and you're crazy about going, you can borrow from the bank. If you go and come back one time, probably you would pay more attention to sending your children to school instead of going to pilgrimage. And I'm not condemning personal decisions of people to go to pilgrimage, but the government should have no business sending people to pilgrimage when you can invest money in education in particular.
I want to talk about another controversial topic. Just last week, a poll result was released, and it says that this is if people were supposed to vote and they went to polling unit on this day, this is exactly how the election turnout would be. What are your thoughts on that poll?
I've condemned the poll.
Why do you condemn the poll?
The people who organize the poll have political bias, particularly the foundation by Tedo Peterside. Peterside is a campaign manager for one of the candidates. NY poll, that's Ngozi Koja-Iweala's poll. She did the same thing in 2015. I condemned it. And that poll showed that Jonathan was going to win. He lost. I told them they have no business doing poll when you have obvious political bias. There's no way your sample size will not come from places that will...
Of your interest.
Yes, of your interest. And the outcome will always be a reflection of your own, bias. Let people with independence conduct polls. Now we have gone past the stage of sample size polling. There's a lot more scientific ways to poll. But the real poll is election day results. Let's all focus on free and fair elections and ensure that the polls, come out in ways that shows clearly that the person who won the election is the one that's popular enough with the Nigerian people. This idea of rigging polls if you are rigging opinion polls, you are not different from the guy who's rigging election day. And
So I mean, if you say that these polls are just conducted, just what's the word that young people use today? Just to gaslight.
People still voting for candidates.
I feel like it's a gimmick that almost every other political party could use. Why haven't your people adopted this?
It's because I understand that people are not fooled. So I'm not going to go out there and hide behind somebody to conduct a poll, read the poll, and then say, "Oh, this is who." If somebody comes out with a poll tomorrow that says Sowore is the person who's going to win the election, the reaction will be, "Who are the pollsters? Where did they conduct the poll? Where did you get your sample size from?" This is simple statistics, and statistics of polls can be read, according to the bias of the person conducting the poll. That's the first thing they teach you when you study statistics. That you can use statistics to get the outcome that you want. I think there was a philosopher, Disraeli, who said, statistics are lies, lies and the worst lies. Or there's a way he put it, like I'm paraphrasing it. That you can use statistics to get the results you want. It's a well-known fact regarding that subject, particularly in polling. You've seen polls in the U.S. that show that Donald Trump was going to win the election. Every poll predicted it. There's no way he's going to lose the election. But you reverse it before he won the first election. Every poll said he would lose.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to bring something up to your attention. You are a man who has been also dubbed Mr. Protest Nigeria because of, in almost every other protest that has happened in this country, you have been part of it, if not even at the forefront. Currently, we've got ASU on strike. We've got the kids in the universities from NAN staging protests last week. The Lagos-Ibadan Expressway felt their wrath. This week they threatened at the airports.
Yeah, the airport as we speak, and let me give a big shout out to them for a fantastic job. If they continue in this trajectory, NANS will be part of the progress we've been looking for. I was a member of NANS in my days in university. The young people during our time delivered democracy to Nigeria by constantly protesting. That's where I end my sobriquet, Mr. Protest, proudly. Because I believe that peaceful protests can change a lot of things about our country. If you are complacent, well, nobody will listen to you. If you're not, people will be forced to listen to you, especially those who are in public office. And the reason I protest is because I don't believe in violence, even though violence sometimes, when appropriately used, is a form of protest as well. But I don't believe in violence.
Do you think that these protests would deliver the result these students are looking for?
Well,
because
I
there's
hope
the
that
fear that these protests could be hijacked by
that's what they've been saying.
elements.
They've been saying
just like the NSAS protests as well.
NSAS was not hijacked by anybody. It was hijacked by government.
Still a hijacking.
No, the government came there and started shooting at innocent civilians. It wasn't the hijack they talk about is that area boys will take over and all of that, as if area boys are not citizens. But the area boys that were at NSAS were better behaved than those in government. The area boys from government came to disrupt and kill people. So you can now tell who is violent between those who were peacefully protesting at Lekki Tollgate and the government people who came in and killed them. Those are the real area boys.
I want to talk about some recent happenings on your social media timeline as well. It's your social media timeline, so you obviously see how sometimes you are being attacked by supporters of other, people in this presidential race as well. Do you believe that presidential aspirants and other political parties should take ownership of the behavior of their followers? Because some of their utterances most times are almost criminal to the point where they're threatening the lives of other people, etc., etc. What are your thoughts?
Well, if you're a presidential candidate and you manage your social media handles, you should be able to dissociate yourself very quickly from violent behaviors of your followers. And that's what I do. The reason is that I'm the one handling my page. Most of the presidential candidates don't handle their page. They have third parties doing it, and they can run riots. Sometimes they don't even know what's happening in their pages. But if you're going to preside over Nigeria, you must be able to know what's happening in your timelines, offline and online. And that's what I do. So if you're aware and you don't condemn it and you don't stop it, then somehow you're culpable. That's how the public judge these issues. Like, why would you have followers who are bullying people? And some of these followers are known to be your direct associates. Then some of the candidates have had reputations that precedes them. There are some of them that were doing this. They were encouraged or hide behind, what we call subterfuge, to ask people to do crazy things on their behalf so that they live in deniability. With regards to how I'm frequently attacked, I take that as a badge of honor, that I can generate the amount of interaction and engagement that allow people to express themselves fully about things I hold and things that they hold dear to themselves. That's decent. That's but when it goes beyond that, and people have been threatened, to the point that these threats have gone offline as well. Like I was mentioning the case of the bishop that was attacked in a market. I've mentioned racial mockery and the fact that he said his 1-year-old daughter was threatening to kidnap her in the UK, and several other things have happened. We should discourage them now before they get out of control, because you look at these presidential candidates or politicians, you know that there's nobody who has a monopoly of some of these behaviors. But antisocial behaviors online should not be encouraged, because whoever wins as a presidential candidate, as a president of this next election, is going to have to govern everybody. Both those you disagree with, now people you disagree with.
I have one last question before I let you go this morning. Just last week, President Buhari said his administration has done really well, but there are quite a number of demerits that can be listed side by side. But what are your own thoughts on the last 8 years of President Buhari and the APC?
The fact that the only person who had to come and say that his administration has done well is Buhari himself, shows that Buhari has failed. If you did well, everybody cannot be blind to the progress that you claim to have made. You don't have to be the one who comes after 7 years and say, where's everybody? Why can't you guys see that I did well? And the rest of us can't see that you did well. So that shows the defensive nature of the administration, that they have to come and defend or try to just make people believe that they did very well. Whereas the opinion of the rest of us who are the receiving end of their services is that they're doing terribly well. It's just like you have a radio station that nobody listens to, and you still come every day and say, well, this is the most followed radio station in the country, and your Nielsen readings are showing that nobody's listening to you. Who are you deceiving? Yourself and yourself alone. I think President Buhari lives in a different world, what we call alternate reality. Yes. He doesn't stay here with us. I'm not surprised.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've had the guest and the honor of talking to presidential candidate Omoyele Sowore. Thank you so much, Chief, for stopping on.
Thank you so much for having me, and I hope to be back here.
Yes, indeed. Looking forward to the kickoff of the elections come 2023. What's your plans for the rest of today?
I probably should not disclose.
Okay.
Because it's Lagos. Anything can happen.
Okay. On a lighter note, which artists are you listening to right about now? Which artist is on your playlist?
Oh man, I haven't listened to music in a long time, I should say. But any day that I have to listen to music, I still do fella.
Keeping it revolutionary.
Yes, his music track Water, getting it's big deal. For me,
many Lagosians will disagree with you with the downpour right now, but
well,
it is.
Yes, this is not the kind of water he's talking about. Not the Lagos water.
All right, indeed. Thank you very much, Chief. We have bills to pay in Lagos. When we come back, there's more on the Morning Drive show.